There we go. Really, this is the first episode, but it might not be our first take of the first episode. It's funny funny how that happens sometimes, eh? I'm Dave Williamson. Welcome to the inaugural Born to Work, Forced to Golf videocast. I have a very, very special guest here with me today, Sara Wilson. We're going to be chatting about some things in the golf industry. We're going to be having some fun, talking about some of the projects that you have on the go, your history with the game, and obviously some of your insights with what we've been developing here in Atlantic, Canada. And I think there's a lot of people that will be paying attention to your message and what you've started. And you've got some really cool things on the go. So welcome to the show, Sara.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for having me. I've known Dave since he was just starting to swing a golf club. So it's fun to be here.
Absolutely. So I got to start off with a quick story here. I mean, we always got to start off with stories right before we get going. I've sent this to a few of my friends, like as far as the title and what we were going to be doing and the mandate for the show. And they said, where'd the title for this come from? Right? Born to Work, Forced to Golf. Like, that's not what it's supposed to be. And absolutely, that's true. But where that originated from was years ago. I used to play on tour, and we were traveling around and playing like crap and not making any money. And a few of us were having some tough goes of it. So we were out one day for breakfast. A good friend of mine down in New York, Mike Salerno, and I were out at this Greasy Spoon diner, and looked up on the wall, and right behind us was this sign that said "Born to Golf, Forced to Work." And you could see both of our eyes at the same time looking at it, saying like, man, it would be nice to work. Like make some money and like actually be able to afford this breakfast and all that kind of stuff. And so we looked at it and said we should take this sign, first of all, and we should change it so that it says "Born to Work, Forced to Golf." And it started to apply to so many people that were either on the road playing or in the industry or whatever the case is, because certainly there are times where we bang our heads against the wall and said like, oh my God, there has to be a better solution out there than what we're currently doing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was the inspiration behind the show title. And obviously now we're at a place where we're actually able to get some great guests on that are doing some very, very, very cool things in the industry. So without any further ado, let's chat about that for sure.
Right.
So Sara, I'd love to obviously open up with chatting a little bit about yourself and what you're doing here in Atlantic Canadian golf.
Yeah, perfect. I like you and so many other young aspiring pros started golfing fairly young and thought being in the golf industry would be a great job and feed the family. So started working at Ashburn Golf Club and was there for 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah, believe it or not, and sort of worked through the ranks there. And yeah, I loved it. Did a lot of teaching, did some management roles. And it took me a couple of years stepping out of the industry to start paying attention to what new golfers might like our sport, why people would be attracted to golf. So it really took me stepping outside of the industry, having a look inside and go, we have a great game. I'm passionate for it. I love to teach the game. And then bringing it to people that aren't members of private clubs and are just wanting to get started.
The fish and water theory, right? When you're the fish and water, you don't know you're in it until you're out of it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start to realize all the things that you can start influencing and changing and that type of thing. So so you're at Ashburn for quite a while, and that's where we first connected was back at the Stomping Grounds, which is actually where we're recording this, is only about maybe a snap hook away from the studio here. But from Ashburn, you must have seen a lot of your interaction with players, with the club, with the club mandate. How did things go from your time at Ashburn to where things are today?
Yeah, I think part of it was understanding and realizing for myself that I have a passion for teaching, and a female in the industry. There's not too many of us, not too many teachers, not too many in management roles or directors of golf or even on board of directors for clubs. So I guess for me it was, what can I sort of give back to women in golf? What does a woman from looking outside in want to take from the game? So my Metro Ladies and my involvement with my membership and club has always been about delivering a superior service to a membership. And again, a lot of that I learned from Ashburn and sort of seeing how programs are rolled out and just being able to develop those on my own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on taking that step, to being able to, craft something for the industry. And we'll get into some of the industry statistics and, some of the people trying to solve the issues that are facing the industry at the moment. But it is tough, as you mentioned, to be able to kind of break out and start your own thing or have the drive. Did that drive for you? Did that originate because of passion? Did it originate because you thought it was a good idea? Like, it's hard to make that change.
Yeah, hard to make a change. Not an entrepreneur. No one in my family is an entrepreneur, but I guess I am. I was kind of forced into it with this idea. For me, in the industry, very few female role models. And I thought if I could be a role model, I was lucky. I grew up playing golf in Sudbury. My assistant golf professional was a female, and spent a lot of time with her. And that really, seeing her in that position made me want to be that person. So I think for me, being able to be that person for somebody, right?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a cool creation story for what you've started. So tell us, what is it now? Where did your pilot project, tell me a little bit about what it encompasses now, after you started and took the leap to be able to start your own venture.
Yeah, we're in year 5, which is hard to imagine 5 years ago, making the leap and jumping. But sort of, it's a membership club for women. We don't have a physical space. Don't have a golf club that we're affiliated with. But what I do is organize golf games for women in the area. So we play all kinds of golf courses at times that they can fit into their schedule.
Wow.
So we combine daytime, evening time. But the part about our membership, which I've recognized from working with women, is they never feel good enough. They don't think they're a good golfer. So I give them the instruction is included in a membership package so that they can start feeling more comfortable and get out and play.
Wow. No kidding. So when you have a group together like that, do you find that the attitudes, the morale, like the group bond, do you find all of that slowly starting to improve? You mentioned that it's very tough for women to pick up the game, or they don't feel confident, I guess. That must be so different, for what you started and the way that your members kind of gel together now as a result of the program.
Yeah. So really, when I talk to my membership all the time, and what we've built is really a community of women. They support each other. They all know what it feels like to be the first person on the tee and those first tee jitters. It's supportive, but what I'm mindful of when I work with some of my members and trying to get new members is we don't want it to become sort of that old boys club of clickiness and having the same group. So we're very mindful of that people want to meet more people and enjoy the game together. So we mix up the groups and have a lot of fun.
Do you find that you've introduced a lot of women to the game as a result of the program that you've started? And for the record, it's called Metro Ladies Golf, so we should give it a little bit of a plug there for sure. But do you find that they're telling friends to come out and be a part of the social network? Do you what really drives the membership for the group right now?
Yeah, and it's the environment we create. So we create an environment where, back when I started, probably year 2 and 3, 60% of my members were brand new to the game, as in never picked up a golf club. They would come out, they join the club, give them some lessons, and then they were starting to play golf. So it's giving them the confidence, create the environment for the ladies to if you make a bad shot, move on, because you're going to do it again. Right. So that's what we've been able to create.
And that was really missing, before Metro Ladies Golf. Like, was the system that existed within private clubs or even within, public courses too? Did it not accurately address some of the needs of what you've been able to provide now? Like, it was just a gap in the industry, I guess.
A gap. Lots of women don't have other women to play golf with. You're with a partner, a husband, maybe. If they're not able to play, you don't play that day. Filling that gap. But also what sort of differentiates my program from others is the option to play at different times of the day. Not everyone can make a Tuesday night.
Sure.
Not everyone can make a Monday morning.
Yeah.
But giving them the flexibility to play different times and different courses, they like.
That's a huge assistance. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. How does it work from the course's perspective? Are they welcoming of your group coming in to the course? And, tell me some of the interactions that you've had with courses here in Atlantic Canada for Metro Ladies.
And PGA Atlantic Canada has been great. I've got a lot of colleagues that are managers and directors of golf. So been very welcoming to
Nice.
our program and clubs. They want the ladies on the golf course. In the past, they may not have known how to attract them.
Sure.
And so when I come to them with 150 eager people to play golf, they're quite happy.
Yeah, nobody's really going to say no to that.
No.
Really, at the end of the day.
No.
Right? So you had an idea and acted upon it. You're now in year 5. You've got a strong membership. I'm sure even over the winter now, we're looking outside and we're seeing, grossness outside.
Yeah.
But you've got some people I'm sure that feel, do they feel connected during the off season as well? Like, do they feel like they're a part of a club like you would be a member at your own private course or whatever the case is? Has it gotten to that level yet?
We do some off-season things. We got a group together, went bowling the other day to sort of get out of the house and get outside. We do some other events, curling. We also travel for golf. So we're heading down south to Mexico soon as 24 women. So we'll go golfing and do some instruction there. So,
wow.
So we do stay connected through my newsletter, through Facebook, social media.
Yep.
Again, trying to get them to stay connected through the season.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So a lot of courses right now, even outside of what you've started, are really trying to find ways of being able to provide a better experience, right? And that's obviously from the club's perspective, that when somebody shows up, it should be 5-star right across the board, but offering more things as well, right? And some courses are being very proactive, whether that's adding curling, adding events, adding off season, improving restaurant and dining and that type of thing. It sounds like your group was able to just go and do that, right? Like, now that you're doing these things in the off season, or you're going on trips and you're doing a lot more, tell me how that's been able to really bolster the club atmosphere. Like, it must help Pride tremendously.
It does. And when I send out my membership surveys, I listen,
Yeah.
right? I act on it.
Right.
I'll see what other people are doing. I scan the environment to see what things are kind of cool. And so giving them that neat fun is key, event that they're going to be attracted to. And being able to act on it quickly
absolutely
is key. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a key part, is that efficiency thing that you mentioned. Back in the fall, the NGCOA had a conference in Ottawa, and it was discussed about how an initiative like what you've started should be the model. Like, it should be adapted across the country, and there should be more groups and societies and clubs like what you've been able to start. Why do you think that hasn't happened more frequently? Is it just because it's so tough to get people to pay attention? Is it you run so fast all summer with your job that it's hard to transition it? Why do you think it doesn't exist? Or maybe even better yet, how would you advise somebody if they were starting this in another market to really go ahead with it?
And I know I've worked, 20 years at a golf club. You get sort of into the same routine time and time again.
Right.
We know we want to have more women's programs, more junior programs, and they sort of are repetitive. They're the same as they've always been.
Mm-hmm.
But my advice would be to sort of look at your own life. Our time's valuable. We can't commit to something on a regular basis, and that's typically what a lot of these leagues or clubs have been, is really around one time slot, but we can't make it all the time. So this just gives people an option to do, and then just do it. And they might show up. I must say, I started Metro Ladies 5 years ago, and we got a small group of 50 women out, which I thought was tremendous. I didn't think anyone would come along. And then it's just kind of grown from there. And I mean, I haven't done a lot to get the membership, and I I feel like there's lots of women that would benefit from programs like this.
Absolutely. That's a key point of it too. Once the movement started, it was a lot probably to get it lifted.
Yes.
But once the flywheel started turning and people started hearing about it and said, that's exactly what I want to be a part of, it almost started networking itself.
Yes.
Right?
Like word of mouth, and women are great for that, talking and sharing their stories.
Absolutely.
So we've been able to grow from what I thought was just going to be organized golf to actually more of a golf club. So we run our club championship. I've grown a competitive league out of it for people that want competition and keep up their handicap.
Yes.
And running. We run 2 other tournaments throughout the year. So it's, the pieces are there at clubs.
Sure.
It's just, how can we deliver it in a unique way?
That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So you've been able to build a really, really cool movement and a cool culture within your within what you've started. Where do you see the hurdles right now? Like where you're 5 years into it now, is the big thing trying to get more people to pay attention, more people to come out? Where? Tell me some of the obstacles.
Some of the obstacles for me is having the capacity at golf courses. Yes, if I owned my own golf course and it was women's specific, Metro Ladies Golf Club, be great. But I'm accessing tee times at clubs. Typically they're non-peak times. I'm filling those gaps. Right. So we're limited in our space. So the software that I use for that is kind of limited in what I can allow courses to have. So I'm limited at times, as well as the hurdles for me is women want to learn from other women. Right. Believe it or not, absolutely. We have different needs and wants from a teacher, teaching perspective, and not all are comfortable, man or woman, doesn't matter. But some, it matters. Sure. So I'm limited I'm one person delivering teaching. To my membership. So that limits, that's a big hurdle now.
I mean, scalability is definitely a factor for, you get to a critical mass point where you need to start looking at, other options and stuff. But I think what's cool is you've been able to really manufacture a movement and get some people all aligned so that it's almost like managing that, that alignment between members now. It's great to be hands-on, of course, because it's your thing and something that you've
and that's, trying to bridge that and feel comfortable and still know I'm delivering a good product.
Yes, true
and service,
enough.
Right?
So what would your hopes be now, even looking out a couple of years or down the road? Do you see this expanding? Do you see it maybe expanding into other markets or like?
And that's my goal. I've been looking at, I definitely have I guess I'm through my 5-year plan. I keep saying my 5-year plan. So now it's the 10-year plan. But definitely working through other Atlantic provinces to see what cities can potentially be good markets for this. So building those relationships with clubs takes time. It's been easy for me here in Halifax and Metro to do that. Sure. But definitely looking outside and starting to see if we can bring some women together.
Yes. So does that excite you? Like, I guess what would excite you the most about some of the things that are in the pipe for Metro Ladies? Is it about being able to bring it to more markets? Is it, maybe some of the trips that are planned? Like, what really gets you out of bed with it?
I love teaching new golfers. So that being able to influence them, answer their questions, be that sort of go-to person that's going to help them along their path. That excites me. That really, the teaching aspect gets me out of bed. But the hope that maybe one day Metro Ladies can be seen in other cities and is kind of cool too.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. And I think to the NGCOA's point, and even some of the discussions from from other clubs and other courses that are trying to face the facts in the industry right now, they do really need to address things kind of head on. And we certainly know that sometimes communication within a club can be very, very tough, right? Whether that's with the board or whether that's with trustees or whatever the case is. Being able to go and start something and then run with it is fantastic. I mean, but you work at a golf course as well. So, do you have any advice for other courses to kind of combat that communication problem, or make more things happen? Because we've certainly seen a lot of courses become victim to the smallest of intentions is always better than, or the smallest of actions is always better than the most noble of intentions, right?
Yeah.
Like how do you do what you've done and replicate that?
Yeah, and I think being able to put something together that's new, innovative, different, right? Yeah. We always fall victim to just delivering the same thing because it's been the same thing year after year. Right. But I'm optimistic about golf. I think women's golf especially, we can see growth. Yes. We see that through surveys that happen at clubs or national surveys. Women and children, I think it's a great sport for everybody. So I think we should just go after those markets. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe it's a better way to bring in new members and show them something that differentiates you from another club.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, 100%.
So I think the clubs need to do a better job of maybe it's marketing, if that's the word, or sales, and show off what you can bring to the people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep. There used to be the analogy, like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. We'll build 18 holes and people will find out about it and come play golf. And it's not the case now.
No.
There are so many things, and the industry statistics support this, saying that there's so many things pulling on people's time. Use myself as an example, right? Yeah. Low 30s, I've got a house and I got a mortgage and family and a business. Yeah. Very, very tough to expect somebody to be a member of a club and contribute to the club and a number of different things. So with your involvement through Metro Ladies as well as your employment, you're seeing a lot of change happening within courses. Certainly different now than it was 14 years ago at Ashburn
for sure.
as well. Yeah. But the participation rates that you mentioned for women's golf, or even just the participation rates even in Canada for golf is excellent. That's a great positive.
Yeah, positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, if we can get away, golf, yes, we have competitive streams. We've got high performance, a new golfer that's female or even male. We're not into it for the competition. Right. So I think a club, get rid of your counting and handing in scorecards and, let them just go out and experience it.
Right.
You hit that one good shot, you're coming back.
Right.
Right?
That bug. It
gets
that
bug, yeah. Or I'll go out and hit the shot for them. I do that on occasion.
So, but on that, you must have seen so many cool stories within Metro Ladies Golf over the last 5 years of people just picking up the game, or they come out for the social aspect and then they end up loving golf, or tell me, you must have a few that are
couple
awesome.
Good stories. Definitely a lot. Over the last 5 years, I've had members with my club from day one. So they're tremendous people and come along for the ride. But, some of these ladies have lost their husbands who they always golf with. So they gave up the game for 10, 15 years. And it wasn't until Metro Ladies came along that they felt like they might have been a member of a golf club in the past and thought, I like the club atmosphere. So they've come along and they've become lifelong friends. So not besides what I can get them to do, go on a trip to Jamaica, Mexico, Bahamas, we've all been there, but they've gone and created their own friendships. Wow. And to me, a woman in their 60s and 70s forging new friendships is pretty cool.
That is fantastic.
We've got people that have illnesses that this group's helped them through it.
Yes.
On the days they feel good, they're out golfing.
Yep.
And if they're not, people are reaching out to them. So
nice.
So our communication is, I send out information to the ladies about their tee times, but they all have their contacts and they carry on from that first tee time.
Wow.
So people have met. I have people that met at my first info session, became members on a whim, and 5 years later they're having Christmas together and New Year's and traveling to Alaska on cruise. So
isn't that something?
Yeah.
Did you expect that when you started this?
No, I was doing it for a job, right? I was doing it to get paid. But, it's become more than that.
Right.
And no, I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I expected to go teach some people the game and kind of give them what a taste of a golf club feels like.
Sure.
Because I've always been a member of a private club and working at Ashburn and being able to give them some of those services. So, no, didn't expect it, but it's pretty cool.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a similar story to other great cultures, and not just courses, but even just great cultures. The people come in the door because of one particular thing, and all of a sudden it changes their entire social network. And all of a sudden they're having Christmas dinner together. They're doing group stuff together. They're traveling together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bonds that happen as a result of something like golf, or in this case it's golf. But great culture can bring all those guys together. One of the things. One of the statistics says that people are hesitant to take up golf. Obviously, there's the time and the cost. There's a ton of things that would stop it, but the skill level is obviously a big hurdle, right?
Yeah.
People, it's very, very tough to get to a level.
I'm still working on my game. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I think we all are for sure.
Yeah.
So in your experience of people that are starting, is it easier to get started into the game when you have a great social network or a great club like that? Like, does it get them past the fear of performing badly or any of the other things that would normally prevent somebody from taking up golf? Like, do you find that you're almost removing some of those hurdles from
definitely. The intimidation of not being good enough is huge, especially for women taking up the game. And I always tell a story, when people are like, geez, I love going out with your group and everyone's having so much fun and smiling. And so I'm like, well, yeah, that's the point of golf. And they'll always say, well, when I go out with my husband, I know everything I just did wrong for 18 holes, right? 200 swings. He's corrected me. So we don't correct.
Right.
If I'm taking a group out, giving them tips on the golf course, they actually are taking it one step forward and wanting to know a little bit about the rules and asking me, things about that. And the women are happy to share amongst themselves, or situations happen to them and they share how they handled it.
Sure.
Or give advice on using a different golf club in a situation. So definitely you have to make them comfortable.
Right.
Right? They're comfortable there. They're comfortable being amongst women only and exploring it.
But then you let them go, right? Like, it's like this autonomous thing where they start learning the game and they start enjoying it, but then all of a sudden they start digging a little bit more, like starting to learn the rules and start,
exactly.
Lord knows how tough the rules are.
Yeah, and I do a 5-week program, and it's for my newbies or new to the game. Yeah. They might not even have golf clubs the first clinic. We provide all that for them, and then they say, "When am I ready to go play?" I said, well, have you hit the ball every time you swung at it? Yeah, then go out on the golf course. They usually email me and let me know how their first game went. But nice. I do still find I have to kind of push them out there. And,
absolutely.
And we know, golf is technique and technical, and it's the rules. It's knowing the etiquette is number one. For a lot of these people, ladies, to feel comfortable is knowing where to stand and what I should and shouldn't do and things like that. So,
but they're learning amongst the group, which is so cool.
Yeah,
right. Like, it's not like they're able to trust in the good time and the friendships, and so that they can, or just for anybody, like, you go out there and put yourself out there to try something new. That's one of the toughest things in the fitness industry, right? Is if you go to a gym and you're walking in, there's well, what if I don't know the movements, or what if I don't know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And then the accountability, and personal trainers are great, but having a group support you, which is what CrossFit does so unbelievably well, is to have this culture where it isn't easy. It's not supposed to be easy, because it's not easy. Actually gets people to keep coming back. So there's a little bit of a rite of passage and a ritual there. Mm-hmm. But then once they're in it, then they start expanding within the network. And one of the biggest, what they say, it's like Fight Club, only the opposite for CrossFit. Like, the first rule of CrossFit is you have to tell people that you're doing CrossFit.
Exactly.
Right? That type of thing. But once they get into it, you're starting to learn new movements, and you're starting to buy more things. And golf can be very, very similar. And I think there's a lot of things that golf can learn from great cultures and great clubs out there. To be able to support that, for sure. So I guess where can somebody learn more about Metro ladies golf now.
Well, we're everywhere. No, on our website, we've got metroladiesgolf.ca, Twitter, Facebook, and I hold, in each spring, I'll hold information sessions at local clubs to get the ladies out and out of the house and learning about golf and what our club is.
Nice.
So
and we'll help with that too, and try to get more prominence in the market and
That's
get some
right.
more people paying attention to it for sure, which should be fantastic. So of course, now that all being said, how's your game?
My game.
Yeah, your game.
I do try to play as often as I can.
Yeah.
Teaching all day and then organizing Metro Ladies and golf is tough, but I love the game. I love teeing it up, and that's what golf, you get that escape from your whole life, what's going on in life when you tee it up, and you and the ball and the elements and the thoughts you have between the ears. But I love it, and what I get my ladies to think about is you're never going to perfect it.
Right.
It's all about managing your bad shots and going from there. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. So I'll play a bit in Mexico. Actually, I play more there than I do a lot of weeks here. But but yeah, I love the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Once you get into it, it's very, very hard to leave.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Well, we covered a lot.
We did.
Let's see. What are we at? Yeah, a little over a half hour, I guess. So that was pretty good. Yeah. Anything we missed? Trying to think. I don't think so.
No, I don't think.
Covered Metro Ladies. Covered your game. I think that's pretty much everything for the first episode of this. So, well, very, very excited to follow where you're going with it, and obviously setting some new trends and getting people out to the course, which is a huge feather in your cap to what you've created so far. So, congratulations on what you've done over the last 5 years, and really where you want to take it moving forward. So, so again, for anybody that wants to find out more, do you have a website or
website is metroladiesgolf.ca.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hopefully people check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you once again for joining us here today. And I think we actually got through this. All the indications look like this actually recorded.
This happened.
This is on the interwebs now. Like people could actually watch this.
Forever.
Isn't that something?
It's there.
And I think we got through relatively scrape-free for the second try.
Yeah.
There might be a first version of this out there somewhere that years from now we'll look back on and say, remember the first part of the first episode?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great to be here.
Awesome.
Help you out and see what's going on in your life too.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we've got lots of stuff coming up for sure. So very cool. So, alrighty, that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining. See you soon.